is our round circle conversation evaluating our suspense project. We want to just introduce ourselves first, so please start with you.
I'm Kseniya.
I'm Imogen.
And I'm Charlotte. So we did the suspense project together. It was a 3-minute long up to 3-minute long suspense scene. So our first question is, what did you think and feel before? What did you think and feel before and after it was completed? Kseniya?
Well, before completing the project, I was nervous, but I was also excited because I'd never really done anything like this before. The project gave me a new opportunity to explore and learn new skills about filmmaking. But after the film was completed, I was happy with the outcome. It showed team skills, and it was the first step into creating a professional film.
Amazing. How about you, Imogen?
I agree with you. I was nervous at first, to be honest, and I never really thought of I never thought of which way it could come out as, like if it could come out bad, or like did we do this right or did we do this wrong. But I'm happy with the outcome.
Great.
What about you?
So I agree with you guys. I was really nervous to begin with.
Yeah.
I was obviously excited because, as you said, we haven't done anything like this before, and then seeing all the process and everything. There's parts where I felt a bit overwhelmed, like, oh my god, I didn't realise how much work it would be.
Definitely.
But I feel a lot more comfortable now with it, and I feel a lot more comfortable for going into future projects with this. I was very anxious the day of filming because I felt like everything was going wrong. But then when looking back then on the footage and after the edit, I was really pleased with how it all came out.
We were really good together, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So thinking about the project overall now, what processes did we go through and what technical skills did we use?
Oh god, well, throughout the project we went through like a lot of processes, I guess.
Yeah.
Such as researching, editing and creating storyboards, but the main part was filming, I guess. I don't really know what else to say about that.
Yeah, just yeah.
So when you guys are talking about what processes we went through, can you say like what order we did everything in? So we all obviously started off with research because we watched Get Out, and then
did our little researches.
And then we did our proposal then after that, didn't we? And where we all came up with our own ideas, and then we discussed it together, decided which one we wanted to do. After that we storyboarded and then improved the storyboard and then improved it again.
So many times.
So many times. But I think that's a good thing though, because obviously we kept evaluating and be like, oh, how could we do this better? How can we do this better?
It's good that we did that.
And then we did a shot list as well. We didn't really follow it on the day, but we did do a shot list. I think next time we do it, we need to follow the shot list a bit.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
And then it was just the final the post-production elements where it's just the editing and obviously exporting and then reviewing and evaluating.
I found the editing really overwhelming. Did anyone else?
Yeah.
Because at first, I just saw what was in Premiere and I was like, oh my god, there's so much we have to do. And
there's so many buttons. So
and I had no idea what
buttons.
there's so many buttons that you can
and
press.
I had no idea what they were gonna do or how I was gonna use it. But now that I've actually finally gone through it, I feel way more confident in myself and know that I can make a good project.
So talking about that then, how successful would you guys say that we execute the processes and the technical aspects of it?
I found that we were pretty successful. The project allowed me to discover new techniques, as I already said. And I found our processes went really well as we always improved and see what we could improve on, and we did a lot of research between us three.
How about you, Imogen? How would you say that when it comes to the camera aspect, because obviously you're behind the camera the most on the actual film day, how did you find the white balance and exposure when looking back at the footage in the editing suite? How did you feel like we did for that afterwards?
I found, because we were all new to this, I felt like when we did that camera shot of panning around you and then looking up at the sky, it showed it really high, exposure was really, really high. We couldn't really exactly
No, we
see
noticed
very
that.
well.
We noticed that on the day though, didn't we?
Yeah.
When we reviewed it, and then we were like, well, what can we do instead?
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah. And we did manage to kind of film around that, not film in the same shot again, which I was quite happy about because then didn't really fit into the whole scene thing.
But we were able to execute it a
Yes,
different
we did.
way with the same effect, weren't we?
Yeah.
And to be fair, like none of our shots were overexposed.
No.
And there was a few that was a bit underexposed, but I think that was more the scenery we were doing it in.
Yeah.
I don't think it made it any I don't think it affected it in a drastic way. I think it actually added to it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was nothing that we couldn't fix in post anyway. Like on Premiere, there's a way to fix the exposure. It's a lot harder to do it when
Thank
it's
God
over
for
it.
Premiere.
Thank God for Premiere Pro.
Pro.
Yeah. Right. So we'll start with you now, Imogen.
Okay.
Going in a little bit different way. What suspense characteristics and technical elements would you say that we used in our scene, and how effective were they in conveying the suspense? So how did we create suspense in our?
Well, I would say from the camera angles,
Mhm.
from how I did, when I was behind the camera and then I was doing like the low angles of you looking up at you,
Yeah.
I felt that kind of made you look more like the stronger character.
Yeah.
But then
She had the higher status.
yeah, but then like near the end when you were over
Yeah.
Jimmy's body, we were looking down at you, so
Yeah.
it could show that you were like a more vulnerable character, and then you smiled at the camera, which made us think otherwise. The lighting,
Yeah.
of course, like you said before, we did quite underexposed shots, which we didn't really plan, but I think worked quite well.
Because
Yeah.
about 80% of our footage was fine with exposure naturally, but it was just that extra 20% that was just a little bit off.
And we didn't really plan it.
No.
I think it was good that it was kind of off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just I don't know, added that eerie,
Yeah,
something
adds
to
light
it,
kind
yeah.
of.
Because me personally, I fixed it in post, but I suppose I haven't seen your guys' edits, final edits. But I suppose you guys could have kept it in and kept it with the disorientation. Because obviously she wakes up bloody in the woods.
She's like, where am I?
Yeah. And what you were saying about the camera shots as well, a lot of it was tracking shots, so the viewer feels like they're following us through the woods, and a lot of it was high angles, but then there's also some rather strange low angle shots that made you seem really strong and powerful, and everyone probably was like, oh, why is that? And then you find out I was a murderer the entire time. You're like, now it makes sense. But yeah, how about you, Kseniya?
Well, I feel like while researching we studied the bomb theory by Alfred Hitchcock, and I feel like it added to the suspense because it was that feeling of tension building up, and I feel like we did that because at the end we kind of finally revealed.
Linking to that then, would you say, in the beginning of our scene where you find the shoes, I find the shoes, and then so the audience knows, oh, there's another person, where is this other person? Would you say that kind of correlates with the bomb theory where you know that there's a bomb, you don't know when it's going to go off, you don't know what the bomb actually is, kind of thing? Would you agree with that? Yeah. I think it was really effective as well, because if you guys remember in our first storyboard, we had it as something like we find the body a lot sooner, and then suspense builds from there, kind of thing. And it wasn't until our last storyboard that we actually agreed to do the person you follow is the killer from the entire time. So do you think it was a lot better doing it where we don't find him till the very end, and then in the last 5 seconds you find out that I'm the killer? Do you think that was a good improvement that we did, or?
Yeah,
Yeah?
definitely. Yeah.
What about you?
I obviously agree, because I was thinking but no, I agree with what you said about linking it to Hitchcock's bomb theory about putting it right at the end when the bomb goes off, but from the very start, because with a lot of the other suspense projects in our class, it was either a really slow build up and then bam 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 bam. But with ours, the way that it's edited, because there's no way that you can edit it in a different way. It's very much straight into the action because you're waking up covered in blood and disorientated, and then it's constant going, and then the big finale at the end.
Like with ours, it built up, it was slow paced, and sometimes it was fast paced, and you didn't really know what was going on, so it caught the audience off.
Yeah, because personally, I would say that it was fast paced from the beginning, because obviously when the scene at the beginning when you wake up, it's all very hectic from the very start. Hectic in a good way though.
Yeah, exactly. Not like, oh, we don't know what we're doing kind of way.
It was planned, I promise. But yeah, because it was very intense from the get-go with ours, I would personally say. Would you say that you thought it was slow paced at the beginning, or?
Around some parts, like for me at least.
Yeah.
Because I did like shots of scenery and I added that into my thing.
Yeah.
So like
for like the equilibrium at the beginning.
Equilibrium, so it builds up, and then you see everything unfold.
How about you, Imogen?
Yeah, like you said, I added some of the scenery at the start, and then added the squirrel. And so
And of course, can't forget the iconic squirrel.
I kind of made it seem like it was quite peaceful at the start, and then it goes, and then then we find you, and then it's like, oh, like that changed really quickly, but not so quickly that it's like dun dun,
completely
like
out of place.
yeah.
Because I did similar to you guys, where it's like the equilibrium at the start, but I did it really fast paced, so it fell off anyway, which it was my intention to do, but for me personally, my one feels like it's very like whereas you guys might have taken a, oh yeah, it's fine. Oh no, it's not. Kind of
There's
approach.
a body on the floor.
Yeah, the body on the floor.
Happened?
Alright, moving on to the next question. What research tools, methods and skills did we use throughout this project, and why?
Do you want to go first?
So personally, with me, I did a lot of watching other, like, not even just horror films, but like thrillers, spy film, my 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 my film film, my 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 film.